Hi, I'm Christina.
And I'm Randy. Are you ready for an adventure?
Come see our journey.
Yeah, Pierce Brothers, Westwood Village Memorial Park is located right down there. You'd never know it, but you have to go down this alley, and then it's right as you get to it right there. Very hard to find if you don't know it's there. Once you know it's there, you just can't miss it.
Okay, so we're headed into an Avco Center parking where you can park and you can have valet. We're going to go straight through this stop sign and we're going to enter in to the Westwood Cemetery. Here we're driving down. It says 5 miles an hour slow. It does say that all masks must be worn during the time you're here.
Westwood Memorial Park Cemetery is open from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. daily. It's located at 1218 Glendon Avenue. Now, one of the things about Glendon Avenue is that it's actually back behind all of the buildings. So if you drove past on Wilshire Boulevard, you would completely miss it. You wouldn't even see it. It's like going down an alley in order to find a cemetery. Very unusual. This cemetery is unlike any other. If you think that we're having a morbid adventure today, that's not the case. Westwood Memorial Park Cemetery has over 300 celebrities. Now, normally when I come to a cemetery, I cry and I feel bad. This is a cemetery that's completely different. This is a cemetery where you can come with 300 celebrities being here. You can look at it and you can feel the past. You can feel the pleasure that you got from watching a movie or a television program. And all of these people have come together for you to enjoy and not to be sorrowful over. So let's take a look around and see what there is here. This is kind of interesting because it's the Arm & Hammer family. Yeah, that might kind of ring a bell to you. It's baking soda. So this is where the family plot is at. This right here is the entrance, the driving entrance to drive in. So that would give you an idea. But we're at the grave of Don Knotts. Don Knotts, best known for the Andy Griffith Show, but one of my favorites is the Ghost of Mr. Chicken. They always say, and they could have used Bon-Ami. I love it. It's a great movie. Great comedy. But there's the Apple Dumpling Gang is represented there. There's a whole bunch of stuff. It's a good one. Next we have the grave of Mel Torme. Mel Torme was famous for his music. One of the ones that he composed that will go down in history is the Christmas song. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Then we've got the niche of Truman Capote. Truman Capote is buried above Joanne Carson, which was Johnny Carson's wife. That was at his wishes. But since then, his ashes are no longer inside of this crypt. And the reason is because they were sold to someone for $45,000. So, just so you know, this is just a plaque now because the ashes aren't really there anymore. This is the grave of Heather O'Rourke, Carol Ann from Poltergeist 1, 2, and 3. Now, she died at 13 years old, and they say that the people from Poltergeist are somehow cursed, and that there's a poltergeist curse, and most of the people have had major problems or died that were in the movie. Now, the one interesting thing, and I'll try to take a picture of it later, is I think that Poltergeist 1 was filmed in Simi Valley, but Poltergeist 2 was actually filmed in Chatsworth, and they built scenes or houses, fake houses in Chatsworth, and made a whole neighborhood, and then they put up for sale signs showing that they were for sale. Now, I have one of those for sale signs because I'm one of those idiots that went and stole it while they were filming the movie. Our next grave here is Harry Warren. He died in 1981. He composed songs like That's Amore. Now, that's important because Dean Martin is also buried here. That's Amore. And now we're at the most memorable two grave sites in the place, and that is Hugh Hefner and Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe sold 50,000 copies of Playboy for Hugh Hefner by being the first one to pose for him for Playboy magazine. Hugh Hefner never met Marilyn, but wanted to be buried next to her since she was the one that helped him start an empire. And if you don't know who Marilyn Monroe is, it's you just think about the song by Elton John. Goodbye, Norma Jean, though I never knew you at all. That's right, that's Norma Jean. And the song was Candle in the Wind. Now, an interesting point was the person right above, Richard Ponchner, died in 1986. It was his wish to be buried right above Marilyn. Now, Richard Poncher, looks like his wife is right next to him, but he wanted to be buried above Marilyn, and he wanted to be buried face down. He wanted to face Marilyn, or however you want to think about it, but they held to his wishes, and Richard Ponchner is buried face down above Marilyn Monroe. Just something, just a bit of trivia. Now, we had discussed Harry Warren before, and he was in this area over here, and he was a prolific songwriter, but he was one of the songwriters that wrote some songs for this guy right here.
Everybody loves somebody sometime.
since we're at Dean Martin's, I'm gonna take a picture with Dean. Hey, bud. And just so you know, Dean Martin's grave is in the Sanctuary of Love. And then in the Garden of Serenity, at the very back of the property, is Carl Malden. Right here. Carl Malden was an actor in movies, but he also was very famous for The Streets of San Francisco. Kirk Eric Douglas is buried here. Eric Douglas was an actor, but he wasn't as famous as his dad and his brother. So, but he was also an actor, and he was. What's interesting is right down the way here, there is an unmarked grave, and this unmarked grave is George C. Scott. Now, George C. Scott was famous for doing Patton, the movie Patton. Now, he won an Oscar, and when he won an Oscar, he decided that the Oscars were not a good thing, and that he didn't want that kind of recognition. And it's funny because when he passed away, he still has no recognition on his own choice. Next to him is Walter Matthau. Now, Walter Matthau, you might remember, was in The Odd Couple.
And Dennis the Menace.
Oh, Dennis the Menace. Okay, yeah. Yeah, played Mr. Wilson.
Wasn't it Grumpy Old Men?
But the one thing that I remember Walter Matthau for is funny because it's different than other people would remember Walter Matthau. You know, Walter Matthau used to sit on the court at the Lakers in the third seat from the south side, across from Jack Nicholson. Now Jack Nicholson, everybody goes to the Laker games and they say, "Oh, there's Jack Nicholson." And I was always at the Laker game going, "Whoa, there's Walter Matthau." Yeah, here's the way that everybody should be buried, next to a beautiful water fountain in a beautiful area. This is James Coburn. James Coburn made some great movies, as far as, you know, those war movies and that type of thing. And the grave says, "Go bravely on, James Coburn." James Coburn also did a voiceover in Monsters, Inc. Water Newson is the character. The kids might remember that one. Next to James Coburn is Peggy Lee. She was a singer, songwriter, and she actually wrote some songs for the original movie Lady and the Tramp, the cartoon version from Disney. Here's a story of a man named Brady. Well, actually a lady named Brady. It's Florence Henderson. Beloved mother of 4, cherished mom to millions. She's forever in our hearts. The family and the friends. In this end of the garden, we have Fanny Brice. Now, Fanny Brice was a vaudevillian actress, but she also was portrayed in the movie Funny Girl by Barbra Streisand, and Barbra Streisand won an Academy Award playing the part of Fanny Brice. She went on to make a second movie, Funny Lady. It didn't do as well, but actually, and people will disagree with me, I liked Funny Lady better than I liked Funny Girl. Here's a mom that many people will know, Doris Roberts. That's the mom from Everybody Loves Raymond. Very funny lady. Very funny lady and a very good actress. Doris Roberts. Next we have the grave of Ray Bradbury. He was the author of Fahrenheit 451. Now, we actually have a signed copy of Fahrenheit 451 and saw Ray Bradbury at the UCLA book show. I'm sitting here now to tell you that I'm gonna have to split this into two videos, or at least two videos, and a lot of our information came from the YouTube site Hollywood Graveyard. So if you're interested in this type of thing, Hollywood Graveyard covers that extensively, and we don't really cover that extensively. We're just doing this for a little bit of fun. So check them out, and maybe we'll see you on the next one. But we're gonna have to split this one into two. If you enjoyed our vlog, please subscribe
And ring that notification bell.
and give us a like. It lets us know you care.
And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.